All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I'm Justin, joined by Jack and Kailen. As always, it is 2/22/22. Wow.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Tuesday, whatever
I
you
like
want to call it.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We're recording at 2:22 a.m.
2:20. Yeah, exactly. We grind for you people. It's definitely not 8:12 p.m. for sure. It's this is palindrome week too. So Jack, do you remember
Yes, I know what a palindrome is.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
What, same forwards and backwards, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like it was 2/21/22 yesterday.
Well, yeah, 22 does come after 21. What are you saying?
I'm saying it goes the same back and forth. Do you
Today
get it?
or 2/21? I don't understand what you're saying.
The whole week.
That doesn't make sense to
Okay,
me.
you lost me too.
Yeah. I don't think you're right there. Do you know what a palindrome is?
2/21/22. 2/2/1/2/2.
Okay.
2/2/1/2/2 is the same back and forth.
Oh. I thought you meant like it's going to continue on like Wednesday.
Yeah, I was like, where's
and
he
then
going?
Thursday's a palindrome.
It is.
Oh, I guess you're right.
It is.
Okay,
Yeah.
it does make sense. You
2,
are
4,
smarter.
2.
You are smarter than me. Yeah,
I'm 100%
Jesus
smarter
Christ.
than you.
Unless we're talking about continuity, then it's then I have the high ground.
Continuity.
I thought this was another one of those moments, but no. Now I see what you're saying.
You thought you were going to be able to dunk.
That was
on
my
me there,
first mistake.
and
I
you
thought.
did not, and I just dunked all over you.
I lost that one. You put that on the scoreboard for you.
Fucking W right there for Justin Rao. Put it up. Put it up.
A rare W.
Fuck you. No, not a rare W.
Put that W right on your elbow.
Yeah, no shit. All right. Well, it has, not only is it palindrome week, but it's been a hell of a week for Michigan social media fans, whatever you want to call it. Not the way that I think that most fans wish that Michigan basketball was in the media right now. I think I can safely say that. But obviously, if you don't know by now, you probably live under a rock. Juwan Howard has been suspended for the rest of the regular season because of did they actually say like because he hit somebody, or did it just say because of the actions or whatever? Did they keep it broad?
I don't know. I didn't see the exact terminology or verbiage, but I would assume they'd say like because of the actions. Because people are still undecided. Like, was it a punch? Was it an open hand? Which it was an open hand.
Wait, Kailen, what? We put out a shirt, and what did that shirt do?
Oh,
Slaps.
That shirt slaps. I mean, all right, let's go back to it. I think we can all agree that this was wrong of Juwan Howard to do, right? Like we're putting out shirts that are that are free Juwan and in support of Juwan. We all know that like he's not just an angel in this, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's an angel. I'm not going to say he's a devil. This is how I look at it. And I've been obviously when I was with you, Justin, at the bar, like we were watching it happen live, and we're like, "Oh shit, that's not a good look," right? And but obviously, like Juwan's been in Ann Arbor for 3 years now, just coaching. All of us Michigan fans have been aware of who he is since he was in the Fab Five. I don't know, man. He's I see it as he was defending his players. That's how I have it framed in my head, and that's a guy who. He's got his players back because we don't know exactly what was said between these Wisconsin assistant coaches and the players and what was going on, but you could kind of see from that one rando that inserted himself into the scrum. He said something to T.
You mean rando as in their assistant coach, right?
Yeah, like a rando assistant coach. Who the fuck knows who this guy is?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Exactly.
Yeah.
But he kind of inserted himself in, pushed Jaron Falls and T. Will. And it looked like he kind of said something to T. Will before he did it too. And you could see T. Will's reaction kind of like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yep.
And what I'm assuming is Jawan either heard this or saw this happen and was like, who the fuck is this guy touching my players? You know, get out of here. Right? I mean, I understand the frustration behind people, and, you know, there's supposed to be this Michigan man mentality and whatnot. But what I see is a coach, after looking at it and seeing all the different like views and audio, it's a coach trying to defend his player and have his players back. That's where I'm at with it. I think they had to suspend him for, you know, some amount of games just to like try to save face or something. And the one thing that I don't think I've seen yet is any sort of apology from Jawan. Not that maybe he
did
needs
come
to.
out and it was
Did he
like
say something?
Well, he didn't. I mean, it was a very scripted like statement.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be the only thing for me. Like, even if it's bullshit, just be like, you know, I apologize to the fans and whatever. Like, that's just part of the job, right? I apologize for these actions, and then behind closed doors, do whatever the fuck you want, you know? I think that if that would have happened, a lot of the Michigan fans, if that would have happened right away or in the post-game presser, a lot of Michigan fans would feel a little bit better about it. But, dude, people are, like, crazy divided on this.
I agree. Twitter's
insane.
been crazy. Kailen, what do you think?
I mean, I kind of saw. I think of it more as like what led up to the actual altercation, right? And it was really between Juwan and Greg Gard is the opposing coach, correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
And it was really that kind of interaction to me, where it's, I guess Juwan was like upset about that timeout, and he was like, you know, I'll remember that or whatever, kind of like pointing in his face a little bit, and then Greg Gard's like grabbing him by the shirt almost, it looked like to me.
And vice
And
versa too.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a little bit overly competitive. The game's already over, right? And so I'm kind of like, it's kind of on both of you guys, you know, to me. Um, I I think both of them probably should have just been like, all right, I'm just going to skip the handshake and I'm going straight to the locker room.
I agree.
For whatever reason, I can't deal with this right now. But it was very strange to watch it like in slow-mo afterwards, where I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was an overreaction by both guys, probably. Like, Juwan, that's an overreaction to Greg Gard calling a timeout, right? At the end of the game, which is what this all apparently this was all over. You know, what happened at the end of the game where Wisconsin is up by 15 or whatever they were, and he called a timeout with less than a minute left to try and like get his guys in check or something like that. And Juwan didn't like that. And to me, it's like, you know, if you don't go down 15, you know, win the game, right? Like I hate when there's like unwritten rules and things like that. Like, you're trying to win the game, right? That's your job. Go win the game. I don't care about being, you know, classy all the time or something like those unwritten rules. Like, Juwan, go out and have your team play better, and then you're not in this situation. I'll say that, honestly. And then, like, also, Juwan was pressing. Juwan was like, Michigan was pressing after, you know, at the end. So I don't think his reaction was super validated. But then also, like, Greg Gard was like, yeah, like grabbing and doing that type of stuff. And it was just like, guys, what are we doing here? You know, I don't know. I thought it was blown up from the get-go. And then I think just because you're in a competitive game and you're going through the line right there, all of a sudden, like, it escalates to 1,000,000 in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you guys, and I think obviously, yeah, both guys are at fault, and it all started with, you know, Juwan and Greg Gard. You know, Juwan's trying to go by, and Greg Gard kind of stops him, and then they're both holding on to each other, and it escalates from there. But yeah, it's just petty stuff at the end of the game. I mean, Juwan was even like fouling. I think they were fouling guys with like 12 seconds left, and we're down 15. It's like they were going back and forth with it.
And I mean, I think the biggest thing for like the next step then is like Wisconsin's assistants. You know, Wisconsin's AD came out with a statement saying he commended his assistants for trying to de-escalate the situation. That's
it would have been fine without him.
Yeah,
they were the ones that escalated it.
Literally
it escalated, and then they like fucking like brought it to 100.
Yeah. And then so like fuck them for that. But then also like Juwan, dude, I don't know. You have to be able to control your emotions enough that you're not going to take a swing. I don't care, honestly. I don't know if there's a whole lot that somebody can say that you, as a head coach of Michigan basketball, should warrant you to take a swing.
I mean, again, okay, I'll go back to what I said earlier. He didn't take a swing until he saw that his players were, being either pushed around or talked to by these assistant coaches. Like, I think if it's just like him and Greg Gard going at it, I don't think Juwan ever throws a punch for it. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't think he would ever do that. I think he was just like, like, these are my guys. Like, get the fuck away from them. I think it was just like an instant reaction. Like, he's played competitive organized sports for his entire life. Like, are you telling me if you're in that situation, what would you do?
I think I'd probably push and shove and get him out of there. But like, I think taking a swing is that next step that you just can't do as a head coach.
That's true. In general, in every brawl I've seen in sports, I can't really point to anything outside of like Woody Hayes, where like the head coach is like swinging on a player or on the other coach, right? Usually they're breaking up the fight, not participating in it.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I support, exactly how it was handled, but given the situation and what happened, I think it was just more so a reaction of like, hey, get the fuck away from my guys. And there were people in between them. Like, that was the easiest way to get in contact with this guy. That's I think at that point, that's what I see. And like I said, I wish that had not ended up happening, but it's like also, all right, dude, you got to take care of your guys. I mean, if somebody's messing with your players, like, you kind of have to handle that and get in the way of it. And maybe that was the best way to do it at that time. I don't know. I've got to have Juwan's back here because if I was a player, I wouldn't want, I'd be kind of fired up if my coach was like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, let me take care of him. What are you doing touching my players? Like, why are you coming with my players when you're a 40-year-old dude? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm a little more on Kailen's side where it's like, let your assistants or your strength coach or even your players do that. But like, as the head coach, I don't know if you can yourself get in the middle of the scrum and start throwing haymakers. Not that was a haymaker. We all know that, right? But like, I mean, in all honesty, he's lucky that it ended up only being a slap. I think if he connects hard and something goes wrong there, like, then there would be more firing talk. Right?
If he actually threw a punch and like knocked this guy out, yeah, he's fired for sure. Like, no question.
So that's where, like, just don't swing. I mean, you like I said, push and shove, do whatever you want. You just can't swing.
Yeah, I think I would actually feel a lot more like on Juwan's side if he worked to like facilitate breaking up the fight. And then he went to the press conference and had some very strong words, like Mark Cuban level, like dropping F-bombs, paying the fine himself. Then I'd be like, hell yeah. But it gets sticky when he's the one, like, kind of, participating.
And you know what I didn't like too? I know we're like anti-Juwan right now, and I'll come around.
You guys. I'm Team Juwan still.
Sorry. Well, yeah, that's fine.
Positive vibes only.
I'll come around and I'll at the end here, I'm going to talk about what how I am still on his side in the end of it. But the only thing not the only thing, but the other part, Kailen, to your point, is he went to the press conference then and said he was defending himself. Like, I don't know if you can look me in the eye, Juwan Howard, and tell me like you were like scared for your life at any point. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The other part too is it's tough when it's like becoming a little bit of a pattern, right? So it's becoming a little. How is it not?
Go say what you're gonna say. Go for it.
I've
just heard this all day from people. Like, I'm just like so sick of it.
Well,
but go for it. Go explain what you're saying.
No, I think that's part of the issue now. This isn't an isolated. This is not an isolated incident. It's it's happened multiple times with Mark Turgeon. It's multiple texts now. So I think that's a part of the issue as well. But Jack, to your point, I will say I've heard it enough that and we've obviously talked about it too. Though I was completely anti Juwan until people started Lynn Henning on Twitter saying that Juwan's on death row, and everyone and a lot of people calling for him to be fired, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened. It's all right, let's fucking pump the brakes here a little bit. It was a slap, right? So I was oh, this is not good, and I still think it's not good. But the crowd that was completely overreacting pushed me back to the middle.
Oh, for sure.
Pattern?
Yeah. What's this? Wait, what did you say, Kalen?
Well, how is it a pattern?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, some of the other issues or whatever.
Last year, he almost fought Mark Turgeon.
It was a shouting match. Doesn't count.
Yeah, I chalk that up to just competitiveness. There
Agreed.
was no, he wasn't slapping anyone.
Right.
All right.
Well, you're gonna fold that easy? It just makes me so happy. Yeah, you're right.
No, that was not me agreeing. I'm just gonna say, all right.
Okay. Well, no, back up your point.
Back up my point. You want me to throw up the YouTube?
Go for it. Yeah. Do whatever you need.
Mark
Pull up any
Turgeon
facts
and
you need.
Juwan charged at each other and had to be held back. If they weren't held back, Juwan probably would have swung.
How dare my coach show emotion?
All right.
Do you sit down at games too?
I read a book usually.
I read my Kindle.
I do Wordle.
But no, so I mean, obviously,
the
thing that people remember, is Mark Turgeon and him having a little shouting match, pointing at each other, whatever. It's bullshit. Who cares? It's competitiveness. But other than that, and what happened most recently, what else is there?
I mean, just a lot of. I don't think there's not a pattern of him swinging on people. I know that.
Right.
But I'm saying, you combine that with the technicals, that's the pattern you see.
I mean, does he get any more texts than any other average coach in the Big Ten?
Kind of seems so lately, but I don't have the stats in front of me.
Yeah, no.
And that's the big thing too. Winning cures everything.
That's
the fact that Michigan
sure.
is struggling is where people are noticing everything and oh, this is this and that's that. Da 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 da.
Well, I'll be honest though, that kind of bothers me about it too, where at the it seems a little bit whiny and petty when you're the one who just lost by 15 and I don't know. Obviously,
I don't know, man. He's an athlete.
Howard.
He's a competitor. What would you do in that situation?
Probably say, "Hey, I got my ass kicked." I'd chirp
Probably.
for sure.
You never know. I'm just saying, you never know. You're put in the situation, you never know. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, we've seen how many other games, right, where they've lost, got their ass kicked, and he's not swinging on people.
I know. I just think as the head coach of Michigan basketball, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard than that. You can be competitive.
I don't disagree.
You can be competitive 100,000%. I love that. And I still do love Juwan Howard. I think Juwan Howard is a gentle soul and a great man, right? But I think that he's got to get his emotions in check a little bit, hold himself to a little bit of a higher standard than others would. I just have a hard time when Jace Howard is holding Juwan Howard back a lot. I like the emotion, but at some point you got to set an example for your guys. Otherwise, you end up with Moussa Diabate just throwing haymakers, and thank God he didn't connect.
Dude, he was swinging. I'll tell you what, if Moussa, basketball doesn't ever work out, if he ever goes into the MMA or boxing, that wingspan, he'll be undefeated.
Holy shit.
He's not getting touched. Could you imagine? Oh, it'd be
Dude,
incredible.
He's a wild man. Like just
I love
like
Musa. God, I love that man.
He threw punches exactly like he plays. 150 miles an hour with no direction of where he's going. Just like, all right, I'm just going, whatever. He was punching like he was blindfolded and he didn't know what was going on.
Oh man.
I definitely would want him on my side though if I'm going at it.
Yeah.
For sure. So now here's the kicker is now what do you do moving forward? Now you're in a spot here where you have to win basketball games to get into the tournament. So, that's a tough spot for Juwan Howard to put this team in as well. So you're going to go into the final stretch of the season where you have multiple must-win games with, obviously I love Phil Martelli, so I'm glad that he's, we've got a guy like him to step in. But it's going to be interesting to see how they, do they play pissed off and go on a run, or do they completely crumble? I could see both happening.
I hope they play pissed off and go on a run. That's what I'm hoping for.
That would be great. But I don't know what's going to happen. I like Phil Martelli too, though. So.
Godfather, dude.
Dude, I mean, there's no better person to be an interim assistant head coach than a guy who was a head coach for 25 years at St. Joe's. Like, right. That's a pretty good guy to step in. He's been in the spotlight before, so this is not like, some assistant who's never been a head coach or something like that.
Yeah. I do want to bring something up, too, before we forget. With the I can't remember if we talked about this earlier or not, but we do have those free Juwan, and Wisconsin started it, shirts on the Blue by 90 shop, and 100% of the profits of that is going to support the Uniform Funding Foundation. So if you guys don't, if you're not familiar with Tough, check them out because they do a lot of great things helping kids and teams that aren't able to afford, new uniforms. They help get those set up for them too. And Joel Honigford, Jess Spate, a bunch of other guys on the Michigan teams, and former players that do it. So check it out. Help support them. Buy a shirt or donate directly to them. Just want to throw it in there before I forgot.
And the Ann Arbor Bad Boys one.
Ann Arbor Bad Boys.
Right.
Yeah. We're not donating for that one, but it's a sweet shirt, and you should check it out.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about we talked about it a little bit already, but just how everyone's torn about this, is just like kind of crazy, right? Because I think the best way to put it into words is like, we do love Juwan Howard. He's our guy, right? Like, and I think we're speaking for most of all the fans out there. Like, Juwan Howard's that Michigan man, from when he was playing here to now. He's come here, won a championship. Obviously, they've struggled a little bit this year, but like, his passion is the reason that we love Juwan, right?
100%.
And so that's where it's tough because you love that, but also, you don't want him taking it too far like he did. So I think there's a lot of people that are split on supporting him or feeling like he was in the wrong. Both can be true as well. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm anti Juwan Howard now because of this, incident. But it will be interesting how he's portrayed for not only the rest of the year, like when he comes back in the Big Ten tournament, like all that type of stuff too.
I think there's three types of Michigan fans or just fans out there, that have had a certain reaction to this incident. I think there's the Fire Juwan crowd. There is the I love Juwan, but I'm super embarrassed for this university and, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the people that are just like, fuck it, embrace it. Ann Arbor Bad Boys, let's go. And I will love to say that I am the Ann Arbor Bad Boys crowd.
I mean, you're not the only one because a lot of people bought the shirt. So
yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that are repping that here in the final few weeks of the season. So it's, and I honestly, I think the only irrational thought there is like the fire Juwan, really, But I also again, if he connects, then we're there. So we're not super far off from having that Juwan be fired conversation. But for where we are right now, we're fine. But I do think it's a little bit of a black eye on the university for the time being, because you just don't want to be the headline on ESPN. The first story on Get Up is that, right? So, yeah, man, I don't know. It's going to be so Michigan plays Rutgers tomorrow at home.
It's going to be a tough
game. It's going to be interesting when you hear Phil Martelli announced as the head coach, and then, how is this team going to come out? Are they going to come out with fire? Are they going to be sloppy and not know where they're at? All these things are possible, and Rutgers is no cupcake. They've beat
Dude, they're hot.
top 25 teams in the last.
Are they ranked right now? I feel like they have to be.
I don't know what I don't know if we've gotten to that point yet, but they're close for sure.
Mike, are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
I feel like they have to be, because they beat a bunch of top Big Ten teams recently.
No, they're not.
Really? What's the record?
I think it's 15-10 or something like that. So it's honestly.
So they must have been not even decent before they went on this run.
Yeah, they were bad early. Where is it? Yeah, so their record is not that much better than Michigan's, I don't believe. Yeah, they're 16-10. 10-6 in the conference, but they have unbelievable quad one wins, which is going to get them into the tournament, I'm sure. Yeah. And right now they're the 5 seed. No, they're the 6 seed. Michigan State's the 7 seed, and Michigan is the 8 seed.
Yeah.
Of the Big Ten tournament if it ended right now too. So that's interesting. All these games, Michigan's going to play a lot of teams. They have chances to win. So,
yeah. I mean, they're so talented too. I was talking to a member at work today, and she's just like, this team is so frustrating because they're so talented, and the games that they play well, they play really, really well, and you think they're going to turn it around, and then they just have an off game. She's like, it's like they just don't mesh or whatever it is, and I think that's how we feel too. But they have every chance to win every game remaining on their schedule. It's just you don't know what team's going to show up.
That would really be super fun if this was the spark they needed, and they just
I love it.
Started winning games back to back to back. Man, amazing.
If it becomes a plane crash boys type run from 2017, first of all, people are going to hate Michigan if all of a sudden, that this is the team that makes a deep run and that's in the news all the time. They're going to have a target on their back literally every time they go out now, for sure. So there's that. Also, God, how many rivalries is Michigan going to have at this point?
Fucking A, dude.
Every fucking team in the Big Ten, hates us with a passion.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, we got, obviously, Ohio State, Michigan State, Illinois, now Wisconsin. Do we have anybody on top of that?
Well, Maryland was one from the Turgeon incident, too.
Yeah.
So there was that. And, I don't know, it just feels like everybody fucking hates us. Maybe earlier it was just because Hunter Dickinson was dragging his dick on the floor at half court. Now it's because Juwan's hitting people.
Oh God.
They're taking on that bad boys name, but the thing is, if you want to be the bad boys, you definitely got to back it up with some play and not be soft, right? So
yeah,
I hope this team comes out with some fire. That's for sure. So, all right. So we'll talk later this week or on Sunday, or sorry, next Monday. We'll come out with with a preview for next week's game against Sparty. So that'll be an interesting one too. After all this, Tom Izzo has already had words about it. All that stuff. It'll be really interesting to see what Michigan does. Obviously this week versus Rutgers, and then they play. Who do they play on Sunday? Shit.
Very prepared here at Blue by Night.
I know. Sorry.
This is why you turn in.
They play Illinois. So you can go.
Nice.
I mean, the shit thing is like this stretch at the end of the year is fucking brutal. And
I mean,
to
who
not
we have?
do it
So
with your head
it's
coach.
Rutgers, Illinois, Ohio State.
No,
Michigan.
Sparty.
Oh, I don't know the order. But yeah. Sparty and then Ohio State and who?
Iowa. So
Iowa.
You go, thankfully 4 out of the 5 are at home. Yeah. But it goes Rutgers at home, Illinois at home, MSU at home, Iowa at home, then at Ohio State to end the year. So like you probably have to go at least 2 and 3 in those games to make the tourney, plus probably win a game, at least one game in the Big Ten tournament. Would I'd say like keep you on the bubble, keep you in like, I don't know, those last 4 in or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Which that could be interesting too, because they have like Michigan and Memphis where Imani Bates is right now as like 2 of the teams as the last 4 in that could play each other.
I would love to see Memphis play Sparty.
Oh, that would be incredible.
That'd be fun. Jaden Akins versus Imani. I'm here for that.
Who do the Sparty fans root for if Michigan plays Memphis?
Oh my God. I'm ready for that. Are you still gonna claim Imani now that he's playing you guys? What's the deal here?
The same people that will claim Imani are the Ohio State fans that claim Joe Burrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, that's a lot about the men's team, but let's talk about the women's team. I'm repping the Maddie Nylon shirt here, and they all right. I'm gonna knock on wood here, promise. But with their win against Maryland on Sunday, they regained the lead for first place in the Big Ten, which was absolutely huge because Maryland had come up on them and snuck up after Michigan lost a few in a row. So that was a huge game, and now they've got 2 games left to close it out here. And then at that point, I think if they win, if they even just go 1-1, I'm guessing that they win the Big Ten. But I mean, obviously it'd be great. I believe they play Michigan State at home and Northwestern at Northwestern to close it out. Be great to go 2-0 to win the Big Ten here.
Hell yeah. And I know they play, I think senior night is Thursday against Sparty. Do you have a schedule up there? Yep. They play at 6 o'clock. I'm working. I'm going to try to get out of it so we can go. But it's exciting, man. That team's fun to watch. That Layla Falia, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's a freshman. Dude, that Euro step that she had on old girl down in the lane, oh my God. I went nuts. She had a big game. She's going to be like, I think she might be like the go-to hooper on that team next year.
Yeah.
When Naz is gone. Because that girl could take over a game, and she's like athletic as hell.
And it'll be interesting, especially because they don't obviously, Leah Brown needs to get back healthy for sure. She's been out for a few games now. So if they can get her back for the postseason, that'd be awesome. But they've got really, really good players like Maddie and and Leah Brown. But obviously everything goes through Naz. So when you're looking at it next year, it'll be really interesting to have the go-tos as the guards, right? And they might just be like a shooting team, which we haven't really seen. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is because like you said, I mean, it goes through Naz, and Naz isn't much of a shooter. I think her mid-range game's okay, but she's normally down on the block and getting rebounds and he's putting up layups. But next year, the strength will probably be shooting, unless they have some 5 waiting in the wings that we don't know about.
Yeah. I mean, they've got Kaiser, I believe, graduates. They do have a couple underclassmen that are bigs that are good, that will be good, but still, that'll be sweet. But either way, this postseason run for Michigan women's basketball is going to be incredible. So
I'm pumped.
if you're not tuning in yet, you better now, because they're going to be a top, maybe a 1 or 2 seed in the tournament and probably hosting. So you can bet your ass if it's like early March, mid-March, and they're hosting a game at Chrysler, we're about to be tailgating in the parking lot for sure.
Oh, for sure.
That's going to be incredible. I mean, I've been just fiending for a tailgate. So,
well, even like, cause, like, I don't like if for whatever reason we can't get into the blue lot, which I'm assuming we would be able to, but like L-Bell's right over there. Like there's so many different spots that are close by that'll be wide open.
Totally.
Like we can have a banger of a tailgate.
For sure. I mean, and listen, even if it's like 50 degrees and sunny, in March, that's like t-shirt
summer
weather for us.
Oh, yeah.
Commanders. So we absolutely need to do that. So that'll be incredible. And just like the environment of having a home game in Chrysler will be sick. So,
oh, yeah.
I think I don't know if a lot of our listeners have been to Chrysler this year for a women's game. We were there on Sunday.
It's electric.
It was packed, like really packed. So honestly, it's a fun atmosphere. So it'll be exciting to do that for sure. And so I mean, they played really well on Sunday against Maryland too. They were struggling a little bit in the first half, and then in the second half, they just turned it on and dominated, which was awesome to see.
And it was really cool. We ran into Maddie's, I think, aunt, and that recognized the Maddie nylon merch. We saw a couple Maddie Nolan jersey hoodies at Chrysler,
Yep.
So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
It was cool. I mean, we love to see all our merch out in the. We're still like, there are some people that are like, oh, those Blue by 90, those guys are so cool, and we're just like. We're just such losers.
I wish people. Yeah, I know. Like I wish people would be like, "Oh, those guys are so cool." Fucking like, nerds. These guys.
Oh my god, that's what they look like.
Oh goodness. Fucking A. No, it's fun. We've got some good. Yeah, I mean, women's basketball, clearly, like they're thriving right now. Hopefully we can tailgate for them. But then obviously baseball and softball are kicked off. We can get some tailgates for that.
We got to talk about Starocco, pitcher, player of the week.
Yeah. Was she National Player of the Week or Big Ten Player of the Week?
Big Ten Player of the Week. She had a bunch of strikeouts, like crazy.
0.5 ERA or something.
Yeah. The one game I did watch, they lost, unfortunately. It's a weird team. And they've honestly, Michigan softball has been like this for as long as I've watched it, for the last decade plus. Like they lose 1-0 games more than any other team out there. So they'll have just like absolutely dominant pitching, but just can't scratch a run across. It's like, it's so tough, but it's also, this is what happens every single year too. For Michigan softball, because they'll go down south, obviously haven't seen like truly live pitching outside, and they play all these teams from Florida and California and stuff, and they've all been practicing outside this whole time, and so they just struggle early all the time because of that.
Yeah.
So, but then they come back up and they kick the shit out of the rest of the Big Ten and win their 17th Big Ten title in a row. That's like, honestly, that is my fiance's biggest flex of all time, where she just holds up her hand and has 4 Big Ten rings. Like, I wish I could ever be that cool.
Like, please slap me with those rings.
All right, you made it weird.
I didn't make it weird. She wore those 4 rings. I told her to slap me too. Wham! I want Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten right on across my face.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, and then baseball. What did they end up doing this weekend? I saw they won.
I think they're back at 500, or they're 3-2.
Why'd they play on Monday afternoon? That was weird.
I don't know. Probably because they're still in Florida. Time doesn't exist down there.
Yeah, they're 2-2. Time doesn't exist. They lost 6-7 to Texas Tech, who's ranked 14th in the country.
Damn.
Shoot. Then beat Kansas State 10-2. Then lost to Oklahoma, who's a really good baseball program, 1-6, and then beat UT Arlington 9-7. So 2-2. I mean, they're in the same boat as the softball program where it's like, you know, it is tough to go down there and you're playing. Like, these are, for baseball and softball, like, these early preseason games are like the best teams they'll play all year long. And it's it's like if Michigan football were to go play like Clemson game 1 every year. So it's hard to you know, like, judge them off that. But they go back down to Miami this weekend to play Seton Hall, and then Florida International and Florida Atlantic as well. So it'll be fun to watch them for sure. So there you go. It is feeling like spring. It was warm out the last couple of days, and I was just like,
it's pretty nice. It's 50 degrees this morning. I think it might still be 50 degrees.
Don't speak to.
I got it at 52. Yeah,
I might go out in the on the back porch and finish my beer.
There you go. There you go. It's I felt warmth from the sun on my face when I was walking to the car this morning, and it felt like that was like the first time in years that I'd felt warmth on my face. It's just one of those things that, like, dude, Michigan weather during like January and February just gets to you, man. You just get in a funk.
It does.
You just envision Rose like, what is this sensation? And then just like a red spot is just like forming on his skin.
I need a tomato face so bad. I would take all the tomato face if it meant that I could have some color on my skin right now.
I know. I got to get some freaking color. My goal is to get tan this year. I got a little bit of sun earlier, but it's like just fucking faded right away. I'm too white. I'm like Polish and Irish. It's bullshit.
The best part though is you somehow got your forehead burnt,
So
and then your
mad.
bald head was just, it was like crisp. A perfect line around your scalp where the hair comes in.
Yeah, this guy's bald, but this is where his hair does still grow. This looks like a stupid hairline. I'm like, thanks.
You just need that son. Oil, right? Just like oil it up.
Just burn that shit up. Cook some eggs on it.
Blistered.
Absolutely.
I'll start putting Pam on my head instead of sunscreen.
Yeah, that'll help. You'll get color. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Put the butter. You
just envision you at some restaurant, some bar in Florida. What's that behind the counter? You got any Pam?
You guys got any Pam here?
I forgot sunscreen. Do you have any Pam?
Oh my God. By the way, I don't know. I mean, obviously this is going to come out tomorrow morning on Wednesday morning, so you'll already know the score, but MSU getting their butt
throttled
right now by Iowa. Imagine losing at Iowa. Couldn't be us.
Can't relate.
We dominated at Iowa, so we're probably the best team in the country, but they're losing by 30 currently with a minute left at Iowa.
Shit.
Jesus.
You think Izzo throws punches?
Dude, Izzo might throw punches at his own guys.
That's what I do love about the Michigan State fans. They're like, yeah, and people are getting mad at Izzo for like yelling at his own, yelling at people, yelling at players. It's like, yeah, like John didn't punch his own player. Like, this is a totally different scenario.
A completely different scenario. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It cracks me the fuck up when these Ohio State and Michigan State fans are suddenly on their high horse. Like they're just like their teams have never like done anything wrong at all. And like, how dare Michigan do anything like this? My team would never.
I do respect the pettiness. It is fun to watch.
Oh, it makes the rivalry 10 times better.
Oh, it's incredible.
Fuck them for it. It's
yeah.
God. I hated it. But all right, last thing. Out of absolutely nowhere, Shea Patterson, #1 pick in the USFL draft to the Michigan Panthers.
Michigan Panthers 2022. title national champs. What do they call them?
World champs for
World
sure.
champs.
It is the USFL though, so it's not really the world. It's literally the United States.
U.S. champs, I guess.
U.S. champs. What do
National
you think the
champs,
trophy's called? Like, it's not the Lombardi Trophy. Is it like the?
Maybe they'll name it the Jeff Fisher Trophy after he wins it.
Fuck yeah!
That'd be sick.
After the first champion, absolutely. Love
Don't worry,
that.
we're gonna get some Panthers by 90 gear up. Well,
Hell
by the
yeah.
time this episode comes out, it should be up.
So was
That
he
would be
the first
incredible.
overall pick?
First overall pick.
Overall pick. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I tweeted when I saw the draft was coming out. I was like, might as well just take Aiden Hutchinson, make him say no to the USFL.
Imagine.
What if he signed with them? That'd be awesome.
Imagine Aiden Hutchinson gets drafted to the Lions. He's like, "Fuck the Lions. I'm
going
going
to the Panthers, right? You know?
I'm taking my talents to Michigan."
Yeah. Oh man,
that would be incredible.
Mhm.
Oh my god, I want to play with Shea. So I will say, in all fairness, they in the USFL draft by position. So quarterback's always going to go first.
Oh really?
Yep.
I did see it was a snake draft as well.
Was it?
I think it was.
Right.
What's a snake draft?
Dude, it's still a mystery.
It's really difficult because you just kind of like never know, who's next, right? It's
Right.
like, well, I was.
It's like a
first
palindrome.
last time. It's like a palindrome, basically.
Dude,
This is such a bad inside joke that most people probably have no idea what we're talking about.
Caleb Martin's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Some notable great USFL players. Just to remind you guys, right? Herschel Walker.
Hey,
Really?
Most of his career was really in the USFL.
that's awesome.
Doug Flutie, same thing.
Go.
Wow.
So there's a lot of guys who made their start in the USFL, then moved on to the NFL, as it's a second tier organization. So
Obviously,
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pumped. First of all, for spring football all year round. This is great.
hell yeah.
Second of all, Michigan Panthers got Jeff Fisher as a coach. Another great touch. Third of all, their colors are fucking sick. And now that they have Shea Patterson at QB, I'm fired up.
Also, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this because I'm just pulling things out of my ass right now, but I'm pretty sure they won the last championship
They did.
in the 80s.
83.
wow.
83. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, it's funny because I had one of my friends want me to. So when I was doing Jack's Caps, they like, hey, can you find any like Michigan Panthers like stuff? So I found like a bunch of like old patches, and I made her like a bunch of like Michigan Panthers like beanies and hats and stuff. So he's got all those. So he's probably pumped right now.
It couldn't be better. Couldn't be better timing for that to break that out.
Right.
Now, are the rules in the USFL any different than the NFL?
That's a good question.
I heard it was like NFL Blitz where you just can hit people for as long as
Pass interference doesn't exist.
I'm all for NFL Street.
NFL Street.
God,
Yeah.
another good one.
Classic. I'd kill for one of those. If they made, why haven't, maybe they have, but why haven't they made just like one of those on my, like on the phone, on my phone?
They might. But dude, NFL Street, NBA Street.
NBA Street
awesome.
was, it didn't, that
Volume
might
2.
have been the peak.
Volume 2. Yeah. Volume 2. I think NFL Street, I don't even know which one was the best. I never had that one, but I loved NBA Street.
Yeah.
Dude, NFL Street was hilarious because like
You're
the
running
first year
on
it
walls
came
and
out,
shit.
first year it came out, you could make your team like Jim Harbaugh as the QB and like Braylon Edwards as your receiver. It was like weird.
That's fucking awesome.
That's amazing. I mean, those were obviously, I'm gonna say this, I think, just because it was my era of the first like video games, but those have to be the GOAT video games, right? Like, doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. I mean, they had NCAA football back then.
That's true. That's true. Oh, how about this? the college football playoff in the NCAA
Fuck
proved
that.
to be the the dumbest organization in the history of the planet
I hate them so
by
much.
saying that they have come to an agreement that the college football playoff will not expand until 2026.
They need to incorporate a fan vote, like the NBA All-Star Game or MLB All-Star Game or whatever. Incorporate a fan vote. Let the people that are watching your product have some sort of, part in this decision. Yeah. At least so you have the stats to look at it,
It's just like crazy to me. Is there any other organization out there that's like, oh, there's this one thing that our fans
Everybody wants,
our players want, the coaches want, the ads want because they want more money? Like, who's against this? Who's against this? It literally would make sense for everybody.
I really don't understand it.
Oh, interesting here. Round 2, pick number 2, Carlo Kemp.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Good for Carlo. He's a little older, right? He's been out.
I mean, I think he's probably Shea's age.
3 years, maybe. Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if he kept. I mean, I'm assuming he kept playing if he's a top 10 pick. But I don't know where.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of Michigan football too, I mean, we probably should have touched on this before, but spring practice started.
Oh yeah, day 1. Or today's probably day 2. It started on Monday.
Today's day 2. I got a little nugget that Cade outplayed JJ in day 1.
Good for Cade.
Good for Cade. People are going to have a fucking cow if JJ doesn't start, though. I just know it. I'm ready for it already.
Ugh. People are the worst.
Now, does that mean that Cade kept doing what he does and JJ played poorly? Or did Cade elevate his play?
That's a good question.
What does that mean?
I didn't get much more information than that. So
you're just a bomb thrower. You just throw it out there and run away.
Exactly. You guys should be lucky I didn't tweet it out and just like let Michigan Twitter just
take a hold of it and run with it.
Consume itself.
Imagine I just put that out there and it's like sources tell me, and then people just like
freak out. Oh, people would go nuts.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that stinks about Michigan spring practice is there's no cameras. Nobody can see anything. So it just makes for more rumors, more, my sources say it's just gets worse and worse and worse.
Well, if it is outdoor practice, we should just start camping out on that bridge, get a cooler and just fucking drink beers and see what's going on.
Dude, they don't let you. They'll legit have. I swear to God, Zach Shaw said it. He goes and tries to do it, but somebody will come and tell him to leave.
Well, that's fine. See how long we can stay.
What? It's a public sidewalk.
Jim.
Yeah.
I love this view. I'm just trying to drink my beer and have a good time.
Beautiful railroad down here.
Like Brad,
we need to buy that bridge or something.
Yeah, that should be cheap.
So I own this. We'll take out a massive loan. It's fine. Pay it off over 100 years.
Everyone's got. Well, with our T-shirt money, we should be able to do that. Our T-shirt sales are skyrocketing.
We could afford maybe a piece of sidewalk.
We just need our tailgate spot with a raised gazebo or something, right?
Oh, I like that. Well, if we were to buy a tailgate bus, we could just stay on top of it.
I want to. That's what I want to put that money towards. We'll see.
Short bus only.
That'd be fun.
Short bus.
Oh, yeah. It has to be a short bus. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that's going to fit us. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Can we have the sign work too?
That'd be nice.
Definitely.
Instead of saying stop, it says drink or something.
Yeah.
I love that, actually.
Every time the sign pops out, everybody has to finish their drink or something.
I love that, except the first thought that popped into my head when you said that was I will be the one to run into the sign.
100%.
I'll be drunk and just oh yeah, hey Jack, boom, just get drilled.
Juwan Howard out here.
Oh, too soon.
I'm in full support of Juwan.
And that is how we're going to end it. Folks. As little Dicky says, and I'm out.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We will definitely have, as more info comes out about spring practice, we'll have more, content about that. But for right now, it's tough because there's literally nothing. Nobody knows anything. And if you're reading something from James Yoder or somebody like that, then just stop and don't believe them. But yeah, well, as stuff does come out, we'll talk about it for sure, and then we'll talk about women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, softball, lacrosse. I mean, we got a lot of sports going on right now, so we'll touch on them all for here in the spring and keep giving you guys content. As Jack said, you can check out all of our stuff on blueby90shop.com. We've got new shirts coming out almost daily. Possible Shea Patterson shirt coming out. Just a little nugget for you there. Mm-hmm. My sources are telling me that a Shea Patterson shirt may come out for St. Patty's Day.
That is confirmed.
Confirmed. Adam Schefter just confirmed it. There you go. Are you guys a Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter guy? I think
definitely a Schefter guy.
Schefter guy.
Yeah.
He's a Michigan man, so yeah.
Kind of gotta support him.
My favorite thing is when like Schefter and Rappaport will do something like literally 6 seconds apart. Really? They'll drop something, and I just know that whoever is the second one that's 6 seconds too late is just so fucking pissed.
Oh yeah,
so mad.
Well, that's okay. So Rappaport, honestly, I'm not super familiar with him. Like I know like Schefter and like Woj bombs for the NBA. What is Rappaport? Is he like everything, or is he mostly NFL, or is he mostly like something else?
He's much more. He's definitely NFL.
Okay.
Schefter's NFL.
So are he and Schefter like 1A, 1B kind of?
Yeah, they're like rivals. But I know they actually like work together. I'm pretty sure too.
Oh yeah, they're probably great together.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're kind of like the top of the reporting. So they're kind of like us in the podcast game.
Makes sense.
Like. Yeah,
I think it's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
They're like the USFL, we're like the NFL.
Other way around. USFL is way better, dude.
True.
Way better.
Michigan Panthers. Let's go.
Let's go, Panthers. You can follow us at BlueBy90 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Maize and Brew on the YouTube channel and on the Maize and Brew podcast network as well. We appreciate you guys listening. Go Blue.
Go Blue.